are there ethical concerns you think? Let's say I'm a student, like you said, students, right? I have written my assignment using GPT. All my friends have used it via GPT, and I submit it. I might get plagiarized, right? I might fail the exam because it's not my own prepared exam. Not exam, sorry. I mean the coursework. What is there? Should there be a certificate stamp that hey, this is a GPT? I have used GPT, but this is still my original work. Is there any development in that?
It's a very funny story, and
because I'm just thinking, if I was a student now and I have access to all of this.
So I was basically in a university, and we were building some LMS for them using AI, right? You know, the first concern which faculties told me, yes, everybody's talking about ChatGPT and they're bringing their assignments with ChatGPT. Is there any way I can identify it? I said use zero GPT. It's basically identify
if it
is built by GPT or not. So there are tools out there, right?
Okay.
So that was like a very simple conversation. But then I thought about it. And this comes to your question, right? Ethical and this. So when you go to social media, now all the platforms will start having the badges, AI generated or not AI generated. So they can identify, so LinkedIn can identify, Instagram can identify, any social media can identify it very easily.
Yeah.
Now, it will take time for consumers to understand that AI से लेना बुरा नहीं है, right? But at least हमें पता होना चाहिए कि AI से content generated है.
Fair. I have a question over here. Suppose I'm a non-native English speaker and I want to make a presentation or make a document or report in English. So I can loosely give you bullet points to the GPT that this is my idea and these are all original ideas coming from me. And then that GPT gets the entire data that I've given the program and it presents a nice report.
Right.
Two things have happened here. One, GPT has got access to my original idea because now it's in its database. And second thing, it has generated a report. That report is AI generated. Is it original or is it not? Because the idea was mine. GPT never knew that this thing existed.
Output is from GPT.
Output is from GPT. So like how do you classify that?
Let me just tell you, and it's the incidents that I have gone through. I was actually taking interviews for incoming batch of MBA students, and you know, there are specific set of questions and you have to basically write an answer in your language. Believe me, if I have looked at 20 interviews, okay, 16 out of 20 I can actually read and I can by myself make out that this is something which they have directly, you know, used GPT to create an answer and just post
More
it.
than 80% of the interviews.
So, you know, people are using it. The only thing is, as he has rightly pointed out, there are tools available which works both the ways. If you have created something using ChatGPT, then there are tools which basically helps you in making it more as your own language, you know, rather than you know, AI driven language. So, you know, those are also available. There are tools which actually tells you that, okay, fine, if you look at a particular language, whether it is generated using AI or not. So your answer to your question that, you know, whether there is a possibility, yes, and you know, I think so people are actually looking at that and understanding. They can just make out by reading it. This is something which is you know, done by using ChatGPT.
It's like what happened at WhatsApp forwards. First people were getting confused that is this original content or not, and then eventually people became smart enough to understand that okay, this is like, looks fake.
So ethics and privacy concerns have to be tackled thoroughly.
Absolutely.
So that also for plagiarism, like
Right.
Sir said, you don't want everyone to submit same or take undue credit. If I read your stuff from this podcast and transcribe it and I post it as a LinkedIn article that guys use this tool, I'm kind of plagiarizing Yash, which is not correct, right?
You're again an inspiration, again and again.
Okay.
I'm saying the same.
That's where
So
you're
I'll tell
saying,
you, 99% of the content creators today
yeah.
are actually doing the same thing. They are actually going to the inspiration part, right?
So repurposed.
It's exactly. So and I don't think so. You should stop that because eventually, see, how does it matter that if I speak here and you cannot transcribe it? The more distribution it is, the better it is, right? But when it comes to the originality, the person who can think can only deliver.
So,
right?
Yeah.
So if you give your brains to GPT and tell that brain तू चला, मैं सिर्फ type करूँगा, it will not work out. He will identify, as he said. So marketing buzzwords. So there is a way to basically, like if he said that 16 people use GPT, I can just be smarter. 17th person will not be able to identify that I have used GPT or not.
Unless it comes with a badge.
Yeah. So it's all about.
It's translating what has been generated through GPT.
Yeah.
Yes, GPT will certainly give you data because as a human being, as a person, it's not possible for me to go through 20 different data sets to create one single answer. But if it is generated, then on top of it I have to use my own brain. And I think that is something which I was telling you, that you have to think out of the box, that how are you going to make it, which is basically your own thought process.
So will it, you think it'll give rise to the original content writers again with their demand that now there's a clear segregation, blue tick, not blue tick, but a stamp of GPT versus original, because right now, even if they post with or without GPT, we don't know clear description.
Right. So see,
differences.
let's say if all the algo of all the social media, there are two options. One is algo, as I said, they will have a badges. It is generated by AI, right? Or second is they don't promote the AI generated content. So eventually, what will happen is the original people who writes, right, they will be promoted more. And this is what is happening on LinkedIn today. If you do it from ChatGPT, you'll not get impressions, right? But if you actually write it, you will get impressions.
This is true for SEO as well, right?
Yeah, it's basically a SEO concept for each and every. It's like hygiene check for each and everything, right? So I believe content creators, specifically if you write copy ads and if you write copies, right, copywriters will be highly valuable. So all the execution skills like video editor, copywriter, maybe something like let's say videographer, right? They'll not be eliminated. It's just they're going to leverage AI to make their work faster.